The sleek silver ships descended through Earth's clouds, reflecting sunlight as they landed in major cities worldwide. Humans gathered in massive crowds, eyes wide with wonder at humanity's first contact with alien life. Director Zhou stood tall at the sole landing site, his gray hair blowing in the wind as he represented Earth's unified government. When the ship's door slid open, revealing the tall, blue-skinned aliens, he maintained his composure despite his racing heart. "We welcome Earth to the greater community of spacefaring peoples," announced the lead alien, who called himself Tull. His voice came through a small translator device in smooth, perfect Korean. "The Galactic Council has observed your progress for many years." The first weeks were filled with celebration. Humans shared their music, art, and science. The aliens shared stories of distant worlds and glimpses of advanced technology. Schools closed so children could watch the historic broadcasts. Religious leaders debated the meaning of these visitors. Scientists eagerly analyzed every piece of information the aliens provided. Officer Sun worked in the security detail at the Asian Coalition headquarters, where the aliens had established their main base. A quiet woman with sharp eyes, she noticed, small details others missed. The aliens seemed interested in Earth's resources, population centers, and defense systems. They asked many questions but answered few. "Something isn't right," Sun told Director Zhou during a private meeting. "They spend hours scanning our solar system but won't share what they're looking for." Director Zhou trusted Sun's instincts. "Keep watching, but be careful. We need to maintain good relations." 3 months after arrival, Sun noticed the aliens, holding private meetings with increasing frequency. They appeared agitated, their normally calm blue faces showing signs of stress. She managed to place a small recording device near their conference room. That night, Sun listened to the translated recording with growing horror. "The void cascade will reach this system in approximately 5 Earth years," one alien voice stated. "Complete planetary destruction is unavoidable." "Has the Council reached a decision?" asked another. "Yes. They lack sufficient technology for self-preservation. Evacuation resources would exceed acceptable parameters for a species at this development stage. Classification, terminal civilization." Sun's hands trembled as she reported to Director Zhou. "They've discovered something coming toward Earth, something destructive, and they've decided not to help us." The next day, the aliens announced their unexpected departure. "Council matters require our attention," Tool explained smoothly. "A small cultural team will remain to continue our exchange." Only 3 aliens stayed behind, a scientist named Ruo and 2 assistants. The massive ships departed as suddenly as they had arrived, leaving humanity confused about the abrupt change. Director Zhou called an emergency meeting with world leaders. Sun played the recording and the room fell silent. "They've abandoned us to die," said the European president, his face pale. "Not if we can help it," replied Director Zhou. "Officer Sun, I'm promoting you to lead a new intelligence division. Your job is to learn everything possible from the aliens who remained." "But why would they leave anyone behind?" asked the African Union representative. "To observe our end," Sun answered quietly. "They want to study how we face extinction." The world leaders decided to keep the truth hidden from the public while they developed a plan. They created Project Phoenix, a secret global initiative to save humanity. Sun approached Ruo, the alien scientist who seemed different from the others. During their conversations, she noticed he appeared uncomfortable when discussing the Council's departure. "Your people have great potential," Ruo told her one evening as they watched the sunset. "The Council does not always make the right decisions." "What's coming toward Earth?" Sun asked directly. Ruo hesitated, his large eyes blinking slowly. "I am not permitted to discuss Council matters." "We know about the void cascade," Sun said. "We know we've been classified as a terminal civilization." The alien's blue skin paled. "How did you—" He stopped himself. After a long pause, he spoke softly. "Perhaps this is why I felt compelled to remain." That night, Ruo showed Sun and Director Zhou the truth. He projected a hologram of the solar system with a massive purple distortion approaching from deep space. "The II void cascade is a wave of energy that destroys everything in its path," Ruo explained. It has consumed 17 planetary systems in the last century. The Council has protocols for which civilizations receive evacuation assistance based on technological advancement. And we didn't qualify, Director Zhou stated. No. The resource cost was deemed too high for your current development stage, Ruo admitted. But I believe this assessment was flawed. Will you help us? Sun asked. Ruo looked at the hologram, then back at the humans. This goes against my orders. But yes, I will help you. Your species thinks differently than mine. You see, possibilities where we see only limitations. Director Zhou extended his hand, and after a moment's hesitation, Ruo took it in his three-fingered grip. We have 5 years, Director Zhou said. Let's get to work. The next day, as Sun walked through the busy streets of Seoul, she looked at the people around her, students laughing, workers rushing to their jobs, parents with children, none aware of what was coming. The burden of knowledge weighed heavily on her shoulders, but for the first time since discovering the truth, she felt something new growing alongside her fear. Hope. 3 months after the council ships departed, a hidden facility hummed with activity beneath the mountains outside Seoul. Director Zhou had named it Project Phoenix, humanity rising from the ashes of what was to come. Officer Sun, now promoted to Director of Intelligence, walked through sliding doors into the main laboratory. Scientists from 20 countries worked side by side, studying the alien technology with desperate intensity. At the center stood Dr. Min, Korea's leading quantum physicist, his eyes red from lack of sleep. Any progress? Sun asked. Dr. Min ran a hand through his messy hair. The alien technology is like nothing we've seen. It's not just advanced. It works on principles we don't fully understand. Ruo, the alien scientist who had chosen to help humanity, joined them. His blue skin seemed paler than usual. Your scientists learn quickly, Ruo said. But the Council's assessment that you cannot develop shield technology in time is based on solid calculations. Calculations can be wrong, Dr. Min replied stubbornly. Sun watched them work for hours. The strange relationship between the alien and the human scientist fascinated her. They argued constantly but seemed to respect each other deeply. Late that night, as most workers slept, Sun found Dr. Min still working. On his screen, equations scrolled endlessly. You should rest, she said. I can't, he answered without looking up. Every time I close my eyes, I see billions of people dying because I wasn't smart enough. Sun understood his fear. Each morning, she walked through the busy streets of Seoul, watching people living normal lives, unaware that their world had an expiration date. 1 week later, Director Zhou called an emergency meeting. Representatives from every major nation gathered around a large table. Resources are our biggest problem, the European representative said. Building planetary defenses will require materials we don't have enough of. Then we need to find more, the African Union delegate replied. We've identified rare mineral deposits in the Congo basin that could help. This isn't just about materials, the North American delegate argued. It's about manufacturing capacity. We need to convert every major factory to defense production. The public will ask questions, warned the South American representative. Director Zhou raised his hand for silence. We start a slow transition. We create cover stories about upgrading infrastructure, renewable energy initiatives, climate protections. The people won't panic and we get the facilities we need. Sun watched the humans cooperate in ways they never had before. Ancient enemies shared technology. Nations with long-standing conflicts pooled resources. The threat of extinction had accomplished what centuries of diplomacy could not. 3 weeks later, Dr. Min burst into Sun's office, his eyes wild with excitement. I've found something, he said, spreading papers across her desk. The Council's shield technology is based on energy deflection. But what if we don't deflect the void cascade? What if we absorb it instead? Sun looked at the complex diagrams. Is that possible? Theoretically. The cascade is energy. Energy can be transformed. When they showed Ruo the calculations, the alien's large eyes widened. This approach, The council never considered it, he admitted. My people view the cascade as purely destructive. We never thought to harness it. Will it work? Sun asked. I don't know, Ruo said. But it might. The next day, Project Phoenix entered a new phase. While some teams continued working on traditional shields, Dr. Min led a new group focused on energy absorption. 2 months later, they built their first prototype. The small device, barely larger than a microwave oven, sat in the center of a reinforced test chamber. Ready? Dr. Min asked through the intercom. Sun nodded, though her heart pounded with fear. If this failed, they might lose one of their best scientists. If it worked, humanity might have a chance. Dr. Min activated a concentrated energy beam, a tiny fraction of what the cascade would bring, but built on the same principles according to Ruo's data. The beam struck the device. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then slowly, lights on the device began to glow. The energy wasn't destroying it. The device was absorbing it. It works, Dr. Min shouted, his professional calm breaking into pure joy. That night, for the first time in months, the scientists celebrated. Someone found bottles of soju, and soon laughter filled the usually serious facility. Sun found Ruo watching the humans with curiosity. Your people surprise me, he said. The council believed you would fight among yourselves when faced with extinction. Instead, you've united. We can be stubborn, Sun replied. Tell us something is impossible and we'll work twice as hard to prove you wrong. Ruo's alien face formed what might have been a smile. Perhaps that is why I chose to stay. My people have grown too comfortable with what they believe is possible. 1 year after the council's departure, Project Phoenix had facilities on every continent. Massive factories built components for the planetary defense system. Deep space monitoring stations tracked the approaching cascade. The world's governments had begun preparing the public, releasing carefully controlled information about a cosmic event that would require new protective infrastructure. Some people guessed the truth. Conspiracy theories spread, but most were dismissed. The truth seemed too fantastic to believe. In the main facility, Sun watched as Dr. Min demonstrated their latest breakthrough to Director Zhou and world leaders. The absorbers will not only protect us from the cascade, Dr. Min explained, but they will capture its energy. If our calculations are correct, we'll emerge with power sources that will advance our civilization by centuries, turning destruction into creation, Director Zhou mused. The council never imagined we would find opportunity in disaster. As Sun left the meeting, she passed the wall where someone had posted a simple sign. It had become the unofficial motto of Project Phoenix. They abandoned us. We will survive. And then, we will show them what humanity can do. The purple light in the night sky grew larger each week. People pointed and took pictures, posting them online with questions no one could answer. News channels called it a cosmic phenomenon, but their voices held fear. 4 years had passed since the alien council left Earth. Now, the thing they had abandoned humanity to face, the void cascade, had arrived at the edge of the solar system. Director Zhou stood before the United Nations Assembly, his gray hair now completely white from stress. The time has come to tell the world the full truth, he said to the gathered leaders. We can no longer hide behind half stories about infrastructure upgrades. That evening, in a broadcast seen by billions, Director Zhou revealed everything: the alien council's abandonment, the approaching destruction, and humanity's plan to survive. The void cascade is an energy wave that destroys everything in its path, he explained in calm, simple words. But for 4 years, the best minds on Earth have been working on a solution. We have built a planetary defense system that will not only protect us but will harness this energy for our future. Panic spread across the world. Some people ran to the countryside, others gathered in churches, temples, and mosques. Many simply hugged their loved ones and waited. Officer Sun, now General Sun, directed the global security forces from the Phoenix Command Center. She worked to maintain order and protect the defense installations that now dotted the planet. We need 2 more weeks, Dr. Min told her. his face thin and tired. The moon base isn't fully operational yet. The moon had been transformed. Thousands of workers had built massive energy absorbers across its surface. These machines, based on Dr. Min's designs, would capture the cascade's power and protect Earth. Can we speed it up? Sun asked. We're already working around the clock, Dr. Min replied. Every scientist and engineer on the planet is helping. Ruo, the alien scientist who had chosen to help humanity, worked alongside them. His blue skin had paled over the years, and Sun worried about his health. My species is not built for Earth's gravity, he explained when she asked. But I would not be anywhere else. What you humans have accomplished is beyond what the Council thought possible. As the cascade drew closer, its effects became visible. Jupiter's outer moons began to break apart. The beautiful rings of Saturn wavered and distorted. Telescope images showed the destruction advancing toward Earth, and fear grew. Then, 3 unmarked ships appeared in orbit. The Council had returned. We come to observe and document Earth's transition, announced a cold voice over the communication channels. Council protocol requires observation of terminal civilization events. Sun understood what they really meant. They had come to witness humanity's destruction and confirm no survivors remained. The thought made her angry. Let them watch, Director, Zhou said when she reported the ship's arrival. They will see something they never expected. With only 3 days remaining before the cascade reached Earth, Dr. Min made a final inspection of the global defense network. Energy absorbers had been placed at strategic points around the planet. The moon base was finally ready, its surface glowing with power as systems came online. We've done everything we can, he told Sun and Director Zhou in the main control room. Now we wait. The final day arrived. The sky turned strange colors as the edge of the cascade distorted light itself. People around the world held their breath. In the Phoenix Command Center, hundreds of scientists and leaders gathered to monitor the defense systems. Cascade approaching, Mars, a technician announced, her voice shaking slightly. Impact in 15 minutes. They watched on screens as Mars shuddered under the impact. Its surface glowed briefly before large cracks appeared. Within minutes, the red planet began to break apart. Cascade will reach lunar orbit in 30 minutes. Another technician called out. Dr. Min moved to the main control panel. Activating primary defense network. Across Earth, the absorbers powered up. A soft humming filled the air as energy fields formed. On the moon, the massive installations glowed brighter. Lunar shields at full power, came the report from the moon base. We're ready. The Council ships moved to a higher orbit, clearly expecting Earth to be destroyed. When the cascade struck the moon, the energy absorbers flared with blinding light. For a terrifying moment, the moon's surface seemed to ripple like water. Then, amazingly, the absorbers began to draw in the destructive energy, just as Dr. Min had designed. It's working, he shouted, watching the readings. The moon shields are holding. Minutes later, the first wave reached Earth. The planetary shields glowed purple, then blue, then white as they absorbed the cascade's power. Buildings shook. The ground trembled, but the shields held. For 6 hours, the cascade battered Earth. In the command center, everyone worked frantically to maintain the defense systems. Several absorbers failed and had to be bypassed. The power grid flickered. But as the hours passed, the violent energy began to weaken. And then suddenly it was over. The skies cleared. The readings showed the cascade had passed. We did it, Director Zhou said quietly, looking at the screen showing Earth, damaged but whole. In orbit, the Council ships broke formation and accelerated away from Earth at high speed. Sun smiled as she watched them flee. I think we surprised them. 2 years after Earth survived the Void Cascade, the planet had changed in ways no one could have imagined. The energy captured from the destructive wave powered a new age of technology and exploration, where once there had been oil rigs, and coal plants now stood sleek purple towers that channeled the cascade energy. Cities glowed with lights that never dimmed. Vehicles moved without fuel. And above it all, in orbit around Earth, humanity's first true starships took shape. General Sun walked through the massive space station that served as Earth's shipyard. Workers floated in zero gravity, assembling the hull of the flagship, a vessel they had named Phoenix. "Will it be ready on time?" she asked the chief engineer. "Yes, General. 2 more weeks and we can begin system tests." Sun nodded with satisfaction. After surviving destruction, humanity had decided to take its place among the stars, ready or not. In his laboratory on the moon base, Dr. Min worked with Ruo on the ship's drive system. They had developed a method to use the cascade energy for faster-than-light travel, something even the Galactic Council had not mastered. The Council believes only their method of space travel is possible, Ruo explained as they calibrated the drive. They use fixed gates between star systems, stable but limited. "While we'll be able to go anywhere," Dr. Min finished with pride. In the 2 years since the cascade had passed, Earth scientists had made one discovery after another. With Ruo's guidance and the unlimited energy from the absorbers, human technology advanced at an incredible pace. Director Zhou, now serving as Earth's United Leader, called a meeting of the Phoenix Project leadership. His once white hair had been regrown black using new medical technology, making him look decades younger. "The flagship will be ready soon," he announced. "The time has come to decide our first mission. I suggest we locate other abandoned worlds," Sun said. According to Ruo, Earth wasn't the first planet the Council left to die. "Agreed," said Dr. Min. "If we find others, we can form alliances. We'll be stronger together." Director Zhou nodded. "And perhaps we should pay a visit to the nearest Council outpost. Show them that we not only survived, but have thrived." 3 months later, the Phoenix launched from Earth orbit. General Sun commanded the mission, with Dr. Min serving as chief scientist and Ruo as their guide to galactic civilization. The ship's crew of 50 represented every part of Earth. They wore simple blue uniforms with a patch showing Earth rising from flames, the symbol of humanity's rebirth. "Drive systems ready?" Dr. Min reported from his station. "Cascade energy at optimal levels." "Take us out, Navigator," Sun ordered. "Set course for the Proxima Centauri system." The stars blurred as the Phoenix accelerated to speeds the Council had believed impossible for humans to achieve. In just 3 weeks, they reached their destination, a journey that should have taken years. The small Council outpost orbiting Proxima Centauri b consisted of a monitoring station and trading post. When the Phoenix appeared in their space, alarm signals flashed across their communications network. "They're trying to determine what we are," Ruo said, monitoring their transmissions. "They don't recognize our ship design." "Open a channel," Sun ordered. "Let's introduce ourselves." When the Council station saw humans on their screens, confusion turned to shock. The station administrator, a tall blue-skinned alien like Ruo, could barely speak. This is impossible," he stammered. "Earth was in the Cascade's path. Our records show it as destroyed." "Your records are wrong," Sun replied calmly. "We survived. And now we've come to establish diplomatic relations with the Galactic Council as equals." The administrator seemed unable to process this information. "Wait, how did you get here? There is no gate in your system." Dr. Min smiled. "We built our own way." After tense negotiations, the Council station agreed to transmit Earth's message to the Central Council worlds. While they waited for a response, Sun directed the Phoenix to another destination, a planet Ruo had identified as possibly containing survivors of another terminal civilization. The world, called Teller by its people, had been hit by a cascade event 30 years earlier. When the Phoenix arrived, they found a civilization barely surviving in underground shelters. The surface of their once beautiful world was cracked and barren. "We were abandoned just as you were," the Tellarian leader told Sun when they established contact. "The Council came, studied our world, then left us to die. But unlike you, we had no warning," another Tellarian added. "The Council never even told us what was coming." Sun felt anger rise within her. "We can help you rebuild," she said. "Earth has technology that can restore your planet using the very energy that nearly destroyed it." The hope in the Tellarian's eyes moved her deeply. As Earth scientists began working with the survivors, sharing the energy absorption technology, Sun received an urgent message from Ruo. "The Council has responded," he said, his voice tense. "They demand we return to Earth immediately and submit to their authority. They claim our technology is unauthorized and potentially destabilizing to galactic order." Sun looked at the message, then at the grateful Talarians working alongside Earth's team. "Send them our answer," she told Ruo. "Tell them Earth does not recognize their authority to abandon worlds. Tell them we have found others like us and we are building a new alliance. And tell them—" She paused, remembering the day the Council ships had left Earth to die. "Tell them we're just getting started." 5 years had passed since Earth's first contact with the Talarians. The Phoenix had traveled far, discovering more worlds abandoned by the Council. Each civilization had the same story. The Council had studied their planet, determined it faced destruction, and left them to die. Now ships from 27 different worlds orbited Earth, their designs as varied as the beings who built them. They had come for the historic meeting that would change the galaxy forever. General Sun, her hair now showing strands of gray, stood at the window of the New Sol space elevator as it carried her up to the orbital conference station. Below, Earth shimmered with the glow of cascade energy technology. Cities that had once feared the stars now reached toward them with confidence. "Nervous?" asked Dr. Min, standing beside her. The years of work showed on his face, but his eyes still held the same determination. "A little," Sun admitted. "The Council has ignored us for years. Now suddenly they want to talk." When the elevator reached the station, Director Zhou was waiting. Though now in his 70s, new medical treatments had kept him strong and clear-minded. "They've arrived," he said. "All 12 members of the High Council. They're requesting we begin immediately." The conference chamber was a massive circular room with a great table at its center. Around it sat representatives from all the formerly abandoned worlds, some humanoid, others with forms that once would have seemed alien to Sun's eyes. Now they were allies and friends. The Council delegates entered from the opposite door. Tall, blue-skinned beings like Ruo, but older and wearing elaborate robes that marked their high status. Their leader, called the High Administrator, moved with the slow dignity of extreme age. "Earth," he began without greeting, "you have caused considerable disruption to galactic stability." Director Zhou responded calmly. "We have caused no disruption. We merely survived when you left us to die, and then helped others do the same." The High Administrator's face showed no emotion. "The Council has maintained order in this galaxy for 50,000 years. Our protocols exist for good reason. Terminal civilization assessment is not a choice but a necessity, due to limited resources. Yet resources seem plentiful enough for your central worlds," Sun noted. "Your ships are larger than cities. Your planets have no poverty or want." A younger council member shifted uncomfortably. Sun had learned that not all council members agreed with their leaders. Many younger members had begun questioning ancient policies. "We have come to offer Earth conditional membership in the Galactic Council," the High Administrator announced. "Your innovation has earned recognition. In return, you will cease your unauthorized activities among terminal civilizations and share your cascade energy technology." The room fell silent. Every representative from the Alliance of Abandoned Worlds watched Director Zhou for his response. "Earth is honored by your offer," Director Zhou replied, rising to his feet. "But we must respectfully decline. Instead, we propose a restructuring of galactic governance, one that values all civilizations regardless of their development stage." Dr. Min activated the main display, showing a map of known space with colored markings. "We've developed technology to predict and neutralize future void cascades completely. No world need be abandoned again. Furthermore," Sun added, "we've restored 6 worlds previously devastated by cascades. Their surfaces are habitable again, their ecosystems rebuilding." The council members whispered among themselves, clearly disturbed by this development. "Impossible," one elder council member declared. "A cascade forever alters planetary physics. Recovery is not possible." In answer, Dr. Min gestured to a Talarian representative, whose planet had been the first to be restored. "My world was dead," the Tellarian said simply. "Now forests grow again. Our children play under open skies for the first time in a generation." For 3 days the negotiations continued. The council elders resisted change, but the younger members increasingly sided with Earth's alliance. They had been raised with stories of the council's wisdom, but now faced evidence that ancient policies had condemned countless worlds to destruction. On the final day, the High Administrator spoke with a voice that showed his age for the first time. "For 50,000 years the council has followed the same path," he said slowly. "Perhaps and it is time to consider another." The agreement they reached transformed galactic politics. The old Galactic Council would become the Galactic Alliance, a democratic body where developing worlds had representation and even the smallest civilizations had a voice. No longer would worlds be abandoned to face destruction alone. A new fleet of ships equipped with cascade prevention technology would protect vulnerable systems. Knowledge and resources would be shared rather than hoarded by the oldest civilizations. As they signed the historic agreement, Ruo approached Sun. The alien who had chosen to help humanity now represented his own people as part of the reformed council. "When I stayed behind on Earth 5 years ago, I never imagined this outcome," he said. Sun smiled. "That day you made a choice to help us instead of observe our end. Small choices can change everything." Later, as the delegates celebrated, Sun stood at the same window where she had watched the council ships depart Earth years ago. Now the space around her planet bustled with vessels from across the galaxy. Trading ships, diplomatic craft, and ordinary travelers, all drawn to the world that had shocked the galaxy with its strength. Below, in a small park in Seoul, a simple stone monument stood where it had been placed on the first anniversary of Earth's survival. Its words were carved in every human language, a reminder of the day that had changed everything. "They abandoned us to die. We chose to live. And in living, we found a better way forward."